AEW Full Gear took place from Baltimore, Maryland. And for this show in AEW, this was a well-hyped up show. This was a big show for them. And I thought the majority of the show was boring. I was not entertained for the majority of the shows. What really was into the matches, I think the big thing that hurts AEW now from the previous 4 previews that they had is they have weekly TV, and you have 2 hours of it, so you have a lot of AEW every week. The matches are just kind of there. A lot of them just felt like TV matches. A lot of them just go too long. I know it's a pay-per-view, but you don't need every match to be 15 to 20 minutes long. It doesn't make sense. I prefer like a 3-hour show with about 4 or 5 matches. I think that's what their format should be. And not everyone needs to be on every show. I think the matches were too long. But you have the Buyin, and that's where they first revealed the set. And the set's really cool. It's basically a bunch of gears, and it's a gimmicky set. I wish WWE would do more of those. It works with the name. You had a whole bunch of gears set up on the sides of the stage, and the stage is kind of like the WCW stage where it goes straight to the ring, and that's kind of cool, and that was used effectively. I like that stage a lot more. So on the Buyin, you have Britt Baker against Priestley, and it was okay. It was an okay match. Britt Baker, they really like. She can be a star, and they're obviously going to push her. Watching the match, I thought that it was a good overall opener, and you also had a different commentary team. You had Taz there, and he was with Excalibur and Golden Boy, and that was your team for the Buyin before Jim Ross eventually made his entrance later in the show on the Buyin. I thought they did okay. It was an okay match, but I hate the Canadian Destroyer, how much it's overused in this fucking company. I am sick of everyone kicking out of a Canadian Destroyer. They had Priestley kick out, and then Britt eventually gets her to tap out with the lockjaw, and she gets it. And after the match, however, you had Awesome Kong come out, and she's with Brandy, and Bay is still in the ring, and Kong beats her down, and Brandy takes out a knife, and she cuts out a piece of Bay's hair and adds it to a belt of trophies. It's just awful. Brandy sucks. So you have Taz and Golden Boy go out, and JR comes out, and it's him and Excalibur calling the show. You start off with Santana and Ortiz, proud and powerful, facing the Young Bucks. This was a good opener. It was enjoyable. I thought the Young Bucks did a good job putting these guys over. They were doing the right thing here, the right thing for business, not going into business for themselves, even though they're really high up in the company. They did well here. It started off a little bit slow. It was a bit strange, but it picked up really well later in the end. They gave the win to the Inner Circle, which was was not a big surprise at all. However, after the match, you have the Rock and Roll Express getting revenge on Inner Circle, and he had Ricky Morton. He basically does a really cool suicide dive, which was hilarious. He gets a huge ovation. And before that, actually, Sammy Guevara came out, and he was celebrating with Inner Circle, but they get their asses kicked in the end by the Rock and Roll Express, and the Young Bucks celebrate the Rock and Roll Express, and that was a cool moment. Next, you go to Adam Hangman Page against Pac. This was more of a brawl, and they had some stuff in front of the crowd. They did some dives. Pac did some kicks to the face. He did well here. I thought the match was entertaining overall. They did a good matchup. I felt like this probably would have been a bigger deal if they had they done a double or nothing, but they did not. But it was still a good matchup. Pac is someone who I think they should protect more, but Adam Page is someone who is really high up there. And eventually had him pin Pac. Pac had the dead eye, and he gets it. He turns it into the brutalizer, but Page collapsed into the ropes and he got a break. Pac missed the block arrow. He hit and then what he did was he ran near the ref, and Page caught an attempted low blow by Pac. He stopped it, and he picked up the win with a dead eye onto Pac. He gets the win. It was a good matchup here, good win for Adam Page. They had him beat Pac. Next, I go to Shawn Spears against Joey Janela. No offense to Shawn Spears. I don't care about this guy. It's a waste of Tully Blanchard. I'm sick of him coming out with him every week. I hate the stupid hood guy. He's so scary with the fucking hood. mean, he killed Cody with the chair shot. I thought they probably did a wrong job with that. I thought they probably should have saved that, to be honest. I thought they could have hyped that up more. But it's okay, it's fine. It was an okay match. They had Earl Hebner there. It's 22 years to the day of the Montreal screw job. I'm sure WWE would love to, man, I'm sure they're going to do something on Raw. They're going to do something stupid. But JR ignored it, thank God. It was okay for a while. What you had was Tully on the outside. Eventually, the match ends with Tully Blanchard interfering. He gets in the ref's face, but I think what he does, he throws something in the ring, a corner pad, and then Shawn Spears does, and then Shawn Spears throws Joey Janela outside. He gets him up on a pile driver position, and Tully Blanchard climbs the steps and does like a pile driver spike on him, and he drives his feet into the ground with the pile driver. That was kind of cool. Spears throws Janela in the ring, hits a C4, he gets the win. It was an okay match. Just not a big fan of Shawn Spears. It was all right. Kind of more of a TV match, to be honest. Backstage, you have Golden Boy with Kip Sabian. He said when he joined the company, he was going straight down the middle, but he saw everyone forming their own cliques, so he formed them at TH2, and then he introduces his new valet. She's back, Penelope Ford. Thank God we get to see Penelope Ford on our TV again. What a smoking hot blonde she is. They're aligned now, and we'll see what they do with Penelope. I think she can definitely be a star, and I'm a big fan. She's not with Joy Janela anymore. We'll see how she does with Kip Sabian. Up next, AEW World Tag Team Championships triple threat match. You have Frankie, Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky defending against the Lucha Bros in the Private Party. So it was an okay match. They did well here. I was not super into it. Lucha Bros had a cool look to them. It was more of a darker look. And the Lucha Bros, I swear to God, I almost got them confused with the really shitty team. What are they called? Those stupid goth guys. I forget their names. The Dark Order, that's what their names are. They looked almost like them, but they're great. Lucha Bros are one of the best teams in the world. They're fantastic. Pentagon and Fenix. And then, the thing with the Private Party, they were there to just take the fall. I mean, they were cleared the less of the three teams. Eventually, Lucha Bros are going to get the belts, but Private Party was definitely the less of the three teams. I think they just beat the Young Bucks, so the Young Bucks are going to have to lose to the Lucha Bros again, or lose to SCU. But SCU, it's Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. So they have again, entertaining match. I think they're just a bit old. I don't know why they have to be the champs. I just wish they'd just be more veterans here. But, Marq Quen, I thought of the Private Party, he shined. I thought Phoenix shined for sure. Eventually, SCU, they got the win. They stopped the Gin and Juice by the Street Profits. And then Kazarian pins Kassidy after an SCU later, so they get the win. After the match, however, you have Pentagon and Phoenix attack them, and then the lights go out, and when the lights come back on, there's someone dressed up as Pentagon, and it is, everyone's surprised who is it? It's Christopher Daniels who attacks Pentagon. They hit the Angel Wings on Phoenix. He's back after they almost killed him a few weeks ago, and he's back with them, and that's how SCU... they're still champs. They celebrate with Chris Daniels returning. Next, you had the AEW Women's Championship. You had Riho defending against Emi Sakura. Emi Sakura is Freddie Mercury. She's either Michael Jackson or Freddie Mercury. I know Shinsuke Nakamura is a huge fan of that, too. I don't know if that's a big thing in Japan. They love American pop stars or something. But that's who she dressed up as. Riho got a decent pop. Riho I really like. She's a star. The match they had, I thought it was okay. I did not love it. It was okay. It was just, some people really liked it. I thought it was good. I've seen better matches. I mean, not too many better singles matches because they really have the AEW Women's Division is not that good, to be honest. But I thought it was a good match. Some people really liked it. I was not super into Emi. She's older. I don't know. The thing with I knew she wasn't going to win. It's tough. Like, when you have a match, there's like a 99% chance someone's going to win. It's hard to really pay attention to it. And I really couldn't get into it. Emi Sakura sold it well. She was crying after the match, but that was the big thing. It's like, it's hard to get into it. because we know someone's going to win. But the match, again, it was okay. It was a decent match. Riho gets the win. She hits a roll-up, which was a cool finisher, or a cool setup, actually, getting a roll-up for the win. I liked how they did it, actually. And eventually, at the end, they shake hands and they hug it out. And Riho, you're still your AEW Women's Champion. Next, the AEW World Championship match. You have Chris Jericho with Jake Hager defending his title against Cody Rhodes with MJF. And this match is basically, if Cody loses, he can never challenge for the AEW World Championship again. That's not happening. And they also did, if the match goes to a 60-minute time limit, they had 3 judges at ringside. They had Dean Malenko, they had Arn Anderson, and they had the Great Muta without his mask. So the match, wow, this was fantastic. This was a great match. Wow, everything about this was fantastic. Easily the best thing on the show. Not even a debate what the best thing on the show was. This was absolutely fantastic. Cody continues to steal the show with AEW. Whenever he's there, he always has great matches on big pay-per-views. It was a great matchup. So it's really, I really got into it. It's like an old school wrestling main event match. Jericho dominated at first. Cody got some offense in. Cody did fight Jericho back, had Cody's mom at ringside. Cody's getting momentum, and then everything changes when Cody tries to like this suicide dive onto Jericho and over the top rope, but it's on the ramp part, and he goes head first, and his head just smacks the ramp. The ramp. It smacks, and he's bleeding heavily from the right eye. Eventually, they do the whole thing where they have to clean it up, and that's fine because I think they do that stuff in MMA all the time. Someone gets a deep cut, but they clean it up, and he gets back in. He fights, but Jericho dominates. Jericho opens up, continues to open up. He continues to punch Cody into the wound. There's blood here. Jericho kicks Cody's ass for a while. Jericho's in control. Cody continues to fight back, though. He gets momentum. He continues to have close calls. He hits a diamond cutter. He hits a spear. He hits a disaster kick onto Jericho on the outside. He hits the crossroads. Jericho kicks out. Cody continues to fight back. He's bloodied up now heavily. MJF is there. Jake Hager is thrown out of the match later in there because he interferes. The ref, I thought the ref did well, Aubrey, when she saw Hager punch Cody. She throws him out. That was a cool part of it. But again, you have a battle here. Jericho gets the Lion's Hammer, but Cody gets out of it the first time. Jericho hits a what does he call it now? So I just call it the code breaker. He hits it, and Cody kicks out. Jericho's not hit the Judas effect here, but Cody continues to have fight in him. He won't give up. Eventually, Jericho hits the Lion's Hammer, and he gets it, and he starts to stomp Cody's head into the ground. He bends Cody up really bad, and you see MJF with the towel. He throws it in. Jericho wins by forfeit. He celebrates with the inner circle. He brings out the bubbly. And then after the match, Cody's stunned. He can't believe MJF did that to him. They're crying. MJF has tears in his eyes. He costs his friend everything, and then he kicks him in the groin. What an amazing heel turn. They were teasing it for a while. What an amazing heel turn. That was a fantastic match and a fantastic angle. Absolutely fantastic. It made you hate MJF. First, he was that lovable heel. Now he's a hateable heel. So main event, you have a lights out match, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega. I did not like it. I did not like this. I was bored. I was so desensitized. I was like, I've seen this shit. I don't care. At first, they were doing stuff with barbed wire, looked extreme. Then it just got so cartoony. They had the most traps. I don't care. How many times do I have to see a table spot on a pay-per-view now? How many times do I have to see trash cans? I'm so desensitized to this shit. The most traps were gimmicky. The shards of glass were fake as fuck. Then they use different stuff. So they go to the ramp, and there's this barbed wire spider web, which was cool, but, it was fake. Moxley suplexes Omega into it. They continue to use weapons. There was the baseball bat barbed wire, the mop barbed wire. They go through a screen. They beat each other up. They use everything. They didn't use the gears at ringside, but eventually they get back to the ring, and they're just hitting each other with the glasses now, spots into the glass. Both of them are bleeding heavily from their back. I think it's Omega destroys the ring, so it's the wood part, and they beat each other up on the ring. Eventually, Moxley hits his finisher, the paradigm drift, straight into the wood after Omega missed a Phoenix Splash. That's it. 1, 2, 3, Moxley pins Omega. I was completely desensitized to this match, and I hope I never have to see another AEW Lights match